this is the biggest night of the year. It's the Godfather, brother. It's the heavy-hitting night.
The pageantry, the hype, it truly is a spectacle.
It was David versus Goliath. It was on the grandest stage of them all. It was on WrestleMania.
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
It was a match everybody wanted to see. It was a match everybody had to see.
There was never anything bigger than that to me than that match right there. Everybody was talking about it.
If that wasn't perfect, that's as close as you can get.
It's something I'll never forget. Like, I was scared for him.
If I'd have gotten my hands on him, we wouldn't have had a WrestleMania moment.
The goal was to put on the greatest main event of all time.
Welcome to the history that is WrestleMania.
These are the greatest matches in WrestleMania history and the stories behind them. This is WrestleMania Rewind. Since his 1995 WWE debut, Triple H has risen to become the Game and one of the very best ever to set foot inside a WWE ring.
I am the Game.
He is the Game. He's one of those characters that has evolved and evolved and evolved, and he keeps evolving.
What you see in this ring before you is the greatest example of evolution you will ever see.
He's gotten smarter, but he has not changed one bit in his passion for this business.
There are certain men who WrestleMania is made for. Triple H is one of those men.
Everything he's done literally has been consistent progression, evolving all the time and becoming what he is today. One of the greatest superstars of all time.
A WWE record 13-time world champion, King of the Ring, and Royal Rumble winner, Triple H has done it all, becoming one of the most iconic WWE superstars of all time.
I think Triple H is one of the most iconic superstars that the WWE has ever had. His true ability, his passion, his charisma, his drive, his fortitude. There's nobody like him in the world.
Triple H has not only been the Game, but has been a game changer for WWE, competing in an outstanding 17 WrestleManias and counting.
That's why he's the Game, because he's been through it all. He's done it all. Certainly a feather in his cap and a testament to his dedication to the business.
A future Hall of Famer, Triple H's legacy has been built in large part through his performances at WWE's Showcase of the Immortals. However, one match in particular stands out as his defining WrestleMania moment. A showdown at WrestleMania 18 against Y2J Chris Jericho for the undisputed heavyweight championship. And that epic confrontation comes to you later on. Now, before this match is presented, journey back and witness the evolution of one of the most prolific superstars in WWE history, Triple H, and his road to WrestleMania 18.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley making his debut here tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Debuting in April 1995, Hunter Hearst Helmsley burst onto the scene as an aristocratic blue blood hailing from Greenwich, Connecticut, displaying a high pedigree of talent while achieving modest success. However, it was his behind-the-scenes bond with the would-be Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels which allowed Hunter's passion within to flourish.
He started out as Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and he and I were talking about it, and he's always been funny. He's always been a guy that made me laugh, and that was something that hadn't come out of the Blue Blood character. And we were talking about, forming a tag team, and I was just expressing to him, we need to bring that out of you. You're a funny guy. They finally said, you know what, let's call him Triple H.
Rebranded as Triple H, the former Blue Blood was now Attitude personified as part of the controversial group D-Generation X, along with Shawn Michaels.
Because remember this, Triple H has got the head if you got the class.
Together, the two wreaked havoc in WWE and established themselves as pillars of the Attitude Era, which took place from 1997 to the early 2000s.
They were living a life on TV that our market at the time, that 18 to 34-year-old male demographic that we were reaching out to at the time, wow, who wouldn't want to be DX? Anti-establishment, did what they want, said what they want, looked like they were having fun at all times.
The fun almost didn't last. Injuries forced DX leader Shawn Michaels into early retirement, leaving Triple H as the new figurehead of the groundbreaking group.
This is my DX, my army, the WWF. Get a good look.
Through their juvenile antics and shocking behavior, D-Generation X galvanized fans throughout the world and helped turn the tide in the ratings war between WWE and fellow sports entertainment rival WCW.
WCW is a bunch of cowards. As we stand now.
After years of rating struggles, WWE and Monday Night Raw would eventually pull ahead in the competition, due in large part to the success of superstars such as Triple H, whose bold and brash demeanor separated him from the pack. By 1999, it became clear that the DX leader was ready to break out and move on from the group. Finally, it was his time.
He'd outgrown DX, and he needed to branch off on his own.
I want to go single and I want to make an impact. I had a vision for where I wanted to be, so the game thing, I just said it in a promo.
You guys always preach, be a student of the game. I am the fucking game, JR.
It just kind of happened, and the next week people started having signs, and he started embracing it, and you know what? He is a student of the game.
He became the game. He was the guy.
I am the game!
I liked it. A more serious, direct approach from Triple H. I think there comes a time where you really need to show people that you can whip somebody's ass.
And on August 23rd, 1999, the game would finally reach the top of the mountain, winning his first WWE Championship on Monday Night Raw.
It's his time! It's Triple H's time!
There's always one person who's the most passionate, who's the hardest working. There's always one best in the world. And I think at that time, it was Hunter.
Triple H's run as WWE champion cemented his status as one of the greats. But the game's thirst for supremacy led to one of the shrewdest power plays that could have only been pulled off by a cerebral assassin, marrying the boss's daughter, as revealed on the November 29th edition of Monday Night Raw.
Hi, Stephanie, take you, Hunter.
For my wife, or for my husband, excuse me.
For my husband.
Now arm in arm with the chairman's daughter, Triple H's career thrived with Stephanie McMahon by his side, which included an impressive near 5-month run with the WWE Championship. The game's reign was highlighted by his win at WrestleMania 2000, a fatal 4-way match against The Big Show, Mick Foley, and The Rock.
Triple H is still the champion!
He was the first villain ever to walk in with the WWE Championship and walk out with the WWE Championship.
I think it made every WrestleMania that followed more intriguing. I also think that it solidified Triple H as a credible main event heel and a great wrestler.
Keeping a strong bad guy was important, but it was definitely a shift in how business was done.
Over the next year, Triple H continued to prove why he was the game and why he was that damn good. Keeping the momentum going, the cerebral assassin, with a billion-dollar princess by his side, would capture Intercontinental and Tag Team gold. But just when his star couldn't get any brighter, Triple H's whole world came crashing down as he was severely injured in the midst of a tag team match on May 21st, 2001.
was in the walls of Jericho and I ran in to make the save. Kind of felt like my leg got jammed as I went to put my weight on it, and when it did, it felt like a lightning bolt hit me in the knee.
I remember being ringside, and I saw Hunter go down in the ring, and I knew something was wrong.
I wasn't sure what I did.
I don't know how bad he's hurt. I don't even know what's hurt.
In the heat of battle, a debilitated Triple H made the ultimate sacrifice. Displaying incredible courage, he finished the match even at the risk of ending his career.
A lot of people ask me, like, how did you finish that match? It never dawned on me to stop.
Jericho's got the walls of Jericho on the game!
When Chris put me in that, it was just like searing, excruciating pain for the entire time that he had me in it.
I remember it vividly. That night was one of the greatest athletic performances I think that I've ever seen in any sport.
As soon as the match was over, I remember just rolling out to the floor. Chris, the trainer, came over and he said, "What did you do?"
My first thoughts were an ACL tear, something like that. When I got out there and saw him, he said that he tore his quad.
You saw your present and future of the company limping away, never knowing if the guy was going to return again.
Knowing the road that potentially lay ahead, Triple H quickly made the decision to have the top doctors in the world work on getting him back to doing what he loved most, performing in a WWE ring.
I just got on a flight, went down to Birmingham, and met with Andrews.
Triple H would put all his confidence in Dr. James Andrews, a world-renowned orthopedic surgeon. Respected throughout the sports and medical communities, Dr. Andrews has treated some of the most iconic athletes, including NFL star running back Adrian Peterson and quarterback sensation Robert Griffin III. But in May 2001, one of his toughest challenges to date.
There's your rupture. You can see where the muscle comes down. Tore a big hole in your quadriceps tendon right here. It's torn from right there to right there. You can, it's all swollen now, but you got a defect right here. You know that has to be operated on, huh?
With his career hanging in the balance, Triple H elected for Dr. Andrews' surgical procedure. The recovery was estimated to be nearly a year, meaning that he could potentially miss WrestleMania, the one event every WWE performer lives for.
I remember watching the surgery. It's really remarkable, and you just can't imagine what kind of brutality occurs in a surgery like that.
Well, it was a pretty severe quadriceps rupture. We're glad this is over with. We just through the first hurdle, and of course we've got to get all this healed.
Well, Dr. Andrews was trying to manage Hunter's expectations.
I remember him saying this to me, of all the stuff I've done, I've never seen anybody in football, I've never seen anybody in another sport to have that level of damage in a quad tear ever return to their sport, especially a contact sport.
Hunter just wasn't going to hear that. He wasn't going to believe it.
So I never left Birmingham. I stayed at that hotel and I rehabbed every day. I started at 8:30 in the morning and I'd rehab till about 5 or 6 o'clock. I did it 7 days a week.
Because he's such a good athlete and trained so hard prior to the injuries in such great condition coming in, he's obviously able to come back much faster.
While Triple H was in the middle of a long and arduous rehabilitation, something unexpected happened. His on-air love interest, Stephanie McMahon, displayed the loyalty and support of a real-life wife. And in a twist of fate, life began to imitate art.
In terms of the recovery process, that was really in our heaviest courting phase. Every weekend I would fly from Stamford, Connecticut down to Birmingham, Alabama, just to be with him. I was falling in love, and I would do anything I could to be with my man.
Her flying out there as often as she could and spending time with me and us just being together. We would never have that period of time to really finish falling in love with each other. If I didn't tear my quad, I learned a lot about myself. It makes you really appreciate the position you've been given, the privilege that you have, that it doesn't last forever, that it's a moment in time. At any point in time, it can all stop. And when the time came and my rehab was good, I started to talk about my return, and I don't care how big of a star you are. If that music hits and they're all like, yeah, so what, big deal. I think as a performer, you always have that anxiety.
When you've been out of the people's eyes for that long, and you've been off TV, your mind will do crazy things to you. You know, you're like, oh man, are they going to remember me? Are they going to still care about me? You're so amped up, one, to make that comeback, and two, you're amped like, man, I hope they still care.
After 8 grueling months, through intense rehabilitation and the support of his partner Stephanie, Triple H anxiously made his long-awaited return at Madison Square Garden on the January 7th edition of Raw.
In my mind, part of me is thinking like, this is Madison Square Garden, most famous arena on the planet. And to walk out and have that from that crowd, to say, oh, it was overwhelming, I can't express it.
It was almost like it was frozen in time for a moment, going, I can't believe I'm witnessing this. Not only did the man return from the quad injury, but now he's returned to this ovation in front of nearly 20,000 people at the Garden.
This is as loud as any sustained roar I have ever heard in Madison Square Garden.
He had tears in his eyes. He was so moved by the people's reaction, their support for him through everything he went through to come back. It's as if they knew.
Primed with renewed vigor, Triple H's journey to reclaim his place amongst the greats would begin at the 2002 Royal Rumble. If a superstar wins the Rumble match, he is able to procure a spot in the main event at WrestleMania. Such a feat would be a major milestone in the comeback of the game.
30 men are going to fight for the right to be in the main event at WrestleMania.
In his first major action in 8 months, Triple H entered the Rumble as an underdog who was determined to outlast 29 other WWE superstars on his road to WrestleMania and redemption.
Oh, God! It's over! It's over! The game! Triple H has returned from a career-threatening injury to win the Royal Rumble! And now Triple H is going to WrestleMania!
Winning the Royal Rumble was really big for Triple H personally, because here's a man that had to wonder, am I going to be the same performer that I was?
Indeed he was, and with the Rumble win, Triple H was officially headed to WrestleMania to face the champion Chris Jericho, who in the time since Triple H's injury had gone from hero to villain. But the switch in morality alignment had served the young and braggadocious Canadian well, as he won the prestigious Undisputed Championship in December 2001 by defeating both The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the very same night.
Jericho's got a leg hook! My God, don't tell me that! My God, it can't be happening! My God almighty! Jericho has done it!
And that says something alone in our industry, is when you're the first person to capture both major world titles. When I think of Chris Jericho, the image I have in my mind is him holding both titles up. And that's a very iconic image.
The first ever Undisputed Champion and a record 9-time Intercontinental Champion, Jericho's list of bragging rights have made him a superstar that fans love to hate and yet have to respect.
Chris has been awesome throughout his career. He's always been able to take advantage of opportunities that have been put in front of him. And he's the only human on the face of the earth that's going to be able to walk around and say he was the first undisputed champion in history.
Thank you! Thank you so very, very much! Nobody thought I had a chance to become the Undisputed Champion. Except for one person, and that person is myself.
Oh, how surprising. With Chris Jericho's championship reign in full swing and WrestleMania approaching, WWE tapped into a real-life issue in order to enhance the rivalry between Y2J and Triple H. While in reality, Triple H's injury was an unfortunate accident, on WWE programming, Chris Jericho had taken the credit for shutting down the game, paving the way for an eventual WrestleMania showdown.
Chris Jericho was getting credit for putting the walls of Jericho on an already injured Triple H, so it became a natural that when Triple H came back, he was going to be focused on getting revenge against Chris Jericho.
Because everything that I have done is far too gigantic to be ignored.
Well. Wait a minute now.
Chris Jericho had just won the Undisputed Championship, and there was really no hero to stop him at the time. And then right when you needed him, Triple H was ready and healthy and going after the Undisputed Championship.
The fact is, there is one man that you have never defeated. And the fact is, Chris Jericho, that one man is me.
While Triple H and Y2J's in-ring rivalry was taking center stage, much of the drama on the game's road to WrestleMania actually took place outside the ring. While in real life, Hunter and Stephanie's relationship was stronger than ever, on WWE television, the foundation of the McMahon-Helmsley alliance was crumbling.
There is only one way to prove our love for each other. We renew our wedding vows!
I was becoming wackier and more eccentric and more controlling and more demanding as I felt him slipping through my fingers.
She fakes a pregnancy to keep me in the relationship, and it was kind of a unique thing for us to do the thing on TV where everybody knew that I knew, except for Steph and Vince and the people that were in the ring at our, we were going to renew our wedding vows, and they were just waiting for that moment when I told it to get lost.
As I look into your eyes tonight, I see you for what you truly are. A no-good lying bitch!
He knocked my dad out. Just in general, embarrassed the heck out of me, and nobody embarrasses a McMahon.
The Triple H Stephanie melodrama provided viewers with a highly entertaining spectacle as the game prepared for his forthcoming match at WrestleMania 18. But the sideshow would soon come front and center as Stephanie formed a shocking alliance with the undisputed champion Y2J, her one-time arch nemesis.
Chris Jericho. He used to call me a dirty,
filthy,
disgusting,
brutal,
bottom-feeding,
skanky
trash bag.
Jericho and Stephanie despised one another.
I had been mortifyingly embarrassed, so I joined forces with undisputed champion Chris Jericho.
Jericho, with me in your corner, with us united, we are an unstoppable force. And I will ensure that you never, ever lose that title!
Triple H's worst nightmare just came true.
I think the idea was genius.
I don't think anybody ever saw that alignment or that pairing coming.
You would have never, ever in a million years thought that Chris Jericho and Stephanie would be on the same team. Yet, lo and behold, here they are. They made a heck of a team.
With a billion-dollar princess and the king of the world conspiring against the game, the deck was stacked against Triple H, making the WrestleMania 18 main event one of the most highly anticipated matches to date.
When Triple H took on Chris Jericho, Stephanie obviously was the wild card. Now, people are going to get into this and they're going to buy into this and they're going to want to see him get revenge on the guy who put him out.
I put you out for 8 months! And all that pain and rehab and all the hell you went through, it's all gonna be for nothing if you show up at WrestleMania. Because if you do, I guarantee that I will end your career forever.
It's Triple H taking on Chris Jericho with Stephanie McMahon in his corner for the coveted undisputed WWE Championship. And this main event from WrestleMania 18 comes to you now. As Triple H soaked in the glory of his triumph, there was a rare moment of clarity as over 80,000 strong of the WWE Universe embraced the reigning King of Kings.
I remember hoisting him up and stopping for a second and thinking, I did it. I came back all the way, and it's WrestleMania, and there's 70,000 people here. I did it.
We have a new, undisputed World Wrestling Federation champion!
It's just this really humbling experience, being in the ring at WrestleMania with the love of my life who just returned from a year-long injury where he suffered every day to get back to the people. It was remarkable.
I think that meant a lot to him, and it meant a lot to me to kind of help him get there. When you get hurt and come back, you have something to prove, and he has something to prove for sure.
The game has endured the pain, the heartbreak, the rehabilitation.
For him to come back in like less than a year, I think everybody was just amazed.
What a display of courage! What a display of heart!
It was a big moment for me. It was the cherry on top of 9 or however many months it was of rehab, never going home for all that time, of all of that coming to a head and finally saying, I did it.
Just a true shining, unbelievable moment with him standing there with those 2 titles. Triple H did it all himself, and that I'm just so incredibly proud of.
The comeback from a near career-ending injury was an extraordinary example of the game's heart and determination. The image of Triple H hoisting the undisputed championship instantly became a WrestleMania moment for the ages and another chapter in the historic legacy of the King of Kings.
Killer Kowalski had told me something early in my career, and he had said, I think it was at like my first match I ever wrestled, and he came to me right before I was going to go out, and he said, when you get out there, stop for a minute and just look around and absorb where you are and what you're doing, and then go back to business. And if you do that, you'll always have the personal experience and then the work experience, at least, you know what I mean? So, something in that vein he told me. And I've always tried to do that. I've always remembered that, and I've always tried to do that. And I think that was that moment for me. I couldn't have it prior to that because I was so geared up. And at that moment, as I was walking out when I was on stage with those 2 titles, I remember hoisting them up and stopping for a second and thinking like I did it. Like I came back all the way. Like I didn't come back and just stop there. I came back all the way, and the cherry on top, however many months it was, a quad rehab, WrestleMania, and there's 70,000 people here, and it's, I did it, and it was a big moment for me.